Well, welcome back to Project Buddy. I'm doing a amateur radio, ham radio um, video today. I'm doing it on the Baofeng, however you pronounce it, DM-32UV. It's a DMR radio, and I just bought this, and I'm just starting to get into DMR, so I'm just starting out, and what I have is the radio and a programming cable. I got it off Amazon, and then I downloaded the programming software off of their website, Baofeng, however you pronounce it. Um, so I'm just sort of learning as I go. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing as far as programming it's concerned. So here's the actual radio. Got the programming cable, etc. It seems to be doing pretty well. This is the software, where I don't think you can really see what I'm doing right now, but the one thing I don't, because this probably isn't going to work out that great as far as the screen, but what I suggest to start out is you plug it in, you find your, under settings, you go to your COM port and find the right COM port that your radio is on, and you'll click OK. And then what I do, I've already done this, but I go up to Program, Read Data. That way I get exactly what is on the radio right now. And I do that. I'll just give you an example of, I've already got it set up, so now I'm going to write this data to my radio. You turn the radio on, you plug it in, obviously, etc. I go to Write Data, and I click OK. Whoops. It would help if I had the radio on. So back to Program, Write Data, click OK, and you'll see that it starts to write the data to the radio. And this, it's like it goes fast and then it sort of goes slow, etc. But eventually it will it'll download all those frequencies. So what I'm starting out with is the actual channels. So I've got certain channels I'm already programming in there, no different than the regular analog channels that you would find on a radio. And sorry, you're just going to keep seeing this move. And it's almost there. There it says write successful. And then I just close out of that. So that's how you get them into your radio. And then what I do is I go down to the last channel. You double click on that number and it will pull up what the channel is. So like I'm going off of a spreadsheet of some frequencies that we use. So you can actually type in what your what you want that channel name to be. So I'm going to do 45W6 CDR. I'll tab, it will go to my frequency, so I'll put in what the frequency is. I'll tab. This one I gotta delete out that section. You'll put in what your transmit frequency is. You literally have to type this stuff in. I kept it as analog. I'm going to power. I want to keep that on high power. And then this particular one has a CTS code. So down here I've learned that if you just type in the number like 67.0 and 67.0, it actually will go there. and then you can go to your next. So that's what I'm doing so far. I think I am going to show you something because I'm going to bet you it's going to happen. You'll find that you can set up all these channels in zones. So that I have done that, but I'll talk about it a little later. A lot of this stuff you can find online that explains explanations of it. I've gone to a few different YouTube websites. One is called Gadget Talk. Sorry, I'm looking on my phone to make sure I've got the right names. So one of them is Gadget Talk. I do know that one. I remember that one. That gentleman explains this very, very well. The other one is, oh gosh, now it's not showing up, but now I'm drawing a blank and I can't find it. I'll find it in here a second. I apologize. It's not showing. Bridgecom Systems, and they have lots of different videos on it. There's a guy named Cody that I think he does a really good job explaining it. Even though he's talking about an anytone radio, it still works out. So that's where I am so far. I just wanted to show you, hey, download what you have off of your radio first. That way you got a baseline. I would save that file in some folder that you have. And then you can go in and start modifying that file and then do a file save as and name it something different so that you've always got a track of what you're doing. The one thing that you'll find from other videos, but they're going to talk, hey, you need a code plug. That's what those files are. A code plug is basically a configuration file for the radio. So once you've changed something like your channels or whatever, when you download those into your radio, that's what your code plug is. So that's where I am so far, and I'll show you what I got next once I get all these channels programmed in. So one thing that I've noticed as I'm working with this program, and the reason that I'm doing this video, mainly it's because I'm learning, but I wasn't finding some of the quirks of how to do stuff. It might be where other people that I've watched just, hey, they know what to do and they didn't explain it. So I put in all of the frequencies that I want for our RACES group. I put all in the channels. I put all of them in there so I know what every single channel is on the radio. But then you have zones. So I created different zones. Typically when you create a new one, it will say like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, whatever. You can actually rename those zones. So for instance, I named one called RACES. So I'm going to show you how I found what I needed to do to get all of those frequencies on that particular zone. So when I was putting all the other contacts in, or not contacts, the other frequencies that I wanted, they weren't automatically going to a particular zone. So it's like when I would download to my radio, they weren't all there. So I'm going to show you what I did. So as I'm sorry if this doesn't come out really well because I don't have a screen share. I'm using my GoPro like I always do. So you got up here, you got channels, okay? So I'm going to go down to zone, and I'm going to click on it, and as you can see, I've got different zones there. I got RACES, zone 1, zone 2. So in RACES, I've only got 17 channels. Zone 2, I got 9. Zone 1, I've got 1. That was just, I mistakenly added another one. So what I do is I double click in this field and it shows all the different available channels that I have But I got to make them, hey, what are the members to that channel? So, like for instance, I stopped over here at 26. So I just click on where 27 is, and I just keep clicking till I get all of the channels that I want over into that zone. So that's how I do it, and then I just click OK. And when I go back to it and download, they should all be there. One thing I'm going to tell you that I did is I did a NOAA weather radar one. So for instance, this is one I did on NOAA weather radar. So I put the frequency for it. But you can go over here. There's a button that says forbid transmit. I clicked that so that if you're on that channel, you can't transmit on that. Not that the radio could do it, but I thought that that would be a helpful tip. What the heck's kind of word's that? So I just put that in there because that's part of our RACES programs that we use on all of our radios. So in our RACES group, whether we have radios at, for instance, we got one at a 911 center, we got one at our clubhouse, just different places we have them. We have a radio channel list. So I got a copy of that list, and that's what I put in my radios at home so that I always have all of my RACES frequencies in there. So that's what I did. This radio only does 2 meters and 70 centimeters. Glad I just remembered that because I had a question on something like that. Anyway, so I put all those in. The nice thing that I'd say with this particular radio is you can create those zones. So I've got a zone just for RACES where when I start to get into the digital side of it, maybe I'll create a different type of zone. I know there's talk groups and stuff like that. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm just trying to get, hey, how do I get my base model set up like my other analog radios? I know this can do a whole lot more, and I'll get into that as we go. So I'm going to go, and once again, I go up to program, make sure my radio's on. Yeah, it was off. The radio is on. I'm going to write the data. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to check it after we're done. So it's doing its thing. It always seems like, hey, we're almost there, and then all of a sudden it really slows down at the end. So sorry, it's just taking some time. It's one of those with this program, as I said, I think I said it, is that there's not a whole lot of videos, I would say, or I haven't found them yet, that really tells me how everything works in the program. I'm sure that there are other radios out there like Anytone or whoever you choose. Maybe their program is a little more user-friendly. Like, for instance, the fact that I had to put a receive frequency in there, and then I had to put a transmit frequency. Most of the other programs, if you use Chirp or something like that, it just automatically does the offset for you, and you just have to maybe type in your CT CSS code. So I'm going to check this real quick. Okay, so I tested it. I did check. Yeah, my radio's set for the RACES zone, and it's getting all of those channels, so that's good. That's about all I've got right now of what I've done so far. I don't want the video to be too long. The one thing that I'd like to see how to do is, I know that there's other features on the radio that you can set. It's under the option feature, and it pops up just different features you can do. Like I just recently changed the auto power off to 120 minutes. You can change your Roger beep, your display, menu exit timeout, different colors that you can put for the zones. I might maybe do that. It's got GPS. I haven't gotten into that yet. Record. I haven't gotten into that yet. Digital. Some information on the digital. I'll get into that. Work mode. Not sure what it is yet. Other. So it's got like a timeout timer. Weather alarm. It's automatically checked. VFO scan. It gives you your upper and lower. So if you do a scan, you can do it by time, carrier, or search. You can password protect it for power on, read data, write data. So if you want to protect some of that, you can. Loan work, not sure. Menu, tons of different menus in here. So that's what I got so far. Like I said, I'm just getting into it. Maybe I just haven't found all of them. I'm literally going on YouTube and trying to find maybe where other people have found this information. Look, I might be showing you something that everybody else already has. But just thought I'd throw it out there. I was doing this on my laptop, and then because that's where I usually have my programming software, but I loaded programming software on another computer because I've got two monitors. So it was nice to be able to have one screen have what frequencies I needed. Then I had the operating software or the programming software on the other monitor. So therefore I could look back and forth. That was handy. Not everybody has that ability, but before I was using my laptop and then I was looking on my iPad. So I think my next step is going to go to a site where you can download talk groups and contacts. So I think I'm going to give that a try. And once I've figured that out, I'll come back and maybe do another video. I'd rather have it where, look, I'm doing stuff, I find what the quirk is or how to work a certain feature, and then once I've sort of mastered it, I'll show it to you, because otherwise you'd just see me fumbling around. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know this isn't for every audience out there, but amateur radio is one of my hobbies, and we're actually licensed by the FCC for emergencies. So, like I said, our RACES group, people who are ham radio operators will know what that is. Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Services. There's also ARES, Amateur Radio Emergency Services, or Service. So we're licensed for a reason. That's why FCC gives us a license. So when we do have emergencies, the Emergency Management Agency or local governments or whatever could call us up to help with if communications are down. Hopefully that never happens. One of the things our RACES group does a lot of, since we're in Ohio, is we'll have weather nets. So we, as members, go to Skywarn training and we'll have spotters or whatever, and we'll do a weather net and relay any pertinent information to the Dayton Skywarn location so that they can let everybody know, as well as they'll let the National Weather Service know what's going on if there's a touchdown on a tornado or something like that. So that's some of the things that we do. Yeah, if stuff hits the fan, would we be able to communicate? Yes, as long as we can keep our batteries charged. So that's what we're licensed for. And as I said, this is a new area of the hobby that I'm getting into. I've also started doing digital communications with my computer and sending signals out through my radio through a program called FL Digi. So we can have typing on our computers and sending messages to different people. So it's just another resource that we're going to try to have. And I'm learning that. I'm getting a little better, but I'm not an expert. I think I'm fairly close, but once again, I used a lot of YouTube videos to help how to set it up, and maybe I'll show some of my setup and what I did. So anyway, I probably said so 12 million times, and I'm looking at my computer and etc. So thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. That helps get my subscribers. I'm at 100. I don't know who my 100th was, but thank you all. I do this I'm not making any money off of it. I do it just to show people other things out there. The whole idea behind this channel is, as my wife and I were talking today, is there's a lot of skills that people don't have nowadays. So I'm trying to show, look, you can do this. You don't need to be an expert. There's some things that you need to call experts in, but lots of people just call up services and it costs money. But if you can do it yourself, that's great. So that's the whole purpose of why I did my channel. So thanks again. Sorry, that was a really long ending of thanks again, but thanks again. Bye-bye.